News Talk 1270 KIML, Don Carpenter Show, and was a little bit of full moonshine. And we have Clay Shelburn on the phone. Good morning.
Good morning.
And thank you for holding during the news and everything. Okay, we're just gonna first start off. I'll tell you how I saw you the first time.
Okay.
And this is probably you probably hear this a lot, but for those that don't know, Clay has a bit of a viral video, and it's inside a Walmart, and you pick up one of these little toy guitars and start channeling Stevie Ray Vaughan. Where did the idea come from for that?
To be quite honest, Zach and I were just bored, honestly. We played a gig together earlier in the night and blew it up and had a good time, and afterwards we were just bored, and so we went and watched some movie and still were bored, so let's go walk around Walmart. Why not?
Well, we've all done that.
Yeah. So we're just walking down the toy aisle, and he starts messing with this little keyboard, and one of them little Casio keyboards that makes all the funny electronic noises and everything. And I looked over and found this row of Lightning McQueen guitars sitting there, and lo and behold, there's one on top that's just open. So I told him to give me an E, and I tuned it up. And we first didn't even record the song. Like, we did it. We started singing it and, just goofing off. And I was like, hey, we should stop and record this just for fun, just because it's stupid. And 2 years later, it blew up. Crazy stuff.
Well, and you never know how these things. I mean, obviously, you didn't go into this thing thinking that you're going to get millions of hits and you're going to get all kinds of people seeing this.
Right.
Yeah, but now and you're obviously you're a serious musician. I mean, you have great music. I mean, how does something like that go towards your career? I mean, obviously, people see that you can play, but I mean, has it helped you at all?
Actually, yeah, it's great because it's just really surreal to go from a couple of thousand views on your video, 17, 18 days ago to almost 4.2 million now. It's just the attention from all over the world it's overwhelming. It's awesome. It's just a lot to fathom. I'm talking to people and striking up friendships with people in Manchester, UK, Canada, talking to people in Israel, Australia. It just blows my mind how much the viral video thing gets you exposure.
Well, and I bet you thought you'd never be talking on a talk station in Wyoming either.
Oh. Anything's possible in life, so.
Well, I think that's the important message to take from this. So, Clay, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background in music? Because you really do have a lot of very diverse influences.
Yeah. So, I was raised with mainly country and blues influence. My dad sat me down with all the Willie Nelsons and Billy Joe Shavers and, guys like that just wrote really honest, all you need to hear kind of music. The really honest classic country stuff. And just, I really like the less is more writing approach from those people because they can use words in such a way to paint a picture in your mind that just grabs you, and I like that about country music. So I try to, formulate my writing around that. And then there's the blues guys and all the funk players and everything, my mom let me listen to. She turned me on to the Stevie Ray, the B.B. King, the Albert King, guys like that, Bootsy Collins. And I soaked it up. Like, I started playing guitar at 10, and I didn't have a life until almost 20, because from the age of 10 to the age of 18, pretty much you didn't see me without a guitar in my hand, and I had no life, but it kind of paid off because life's getting pretty great now.
Well, and I will say, I mean, you're from Texas. You're from Melissa, Texas. Now, I've been around that area quite a bit. Exactly where is Melissa?
It's about 6 miles north of McKinney. If you want to get real technical about it, or I guess would be more vague about it. It's about 35 minutes north of downtown Dallas.
Okay, so I know the general area. There's just so many little towns there that I can't keep track of them all. It really is. I mean, now with this newfound interest from all over the place. I mean, have you thought about maybe trying to hit the road and booking some stuff in different places, or if you have, I mean, where do you think you'd like to go?
Actually, there's been a lot of people. The response from all over the country and, like I said earlier, kind of all over the globe has been great. They're like, please come here. We'll share your stuff. We'll pull you a crowd, everything. So I've been trying to, respond to as many people personally on all of my social media sites as I can. And so far I'm doing a pretty good job keeping up. But, yeah, I just tell people I would love to tour and get out there and, get in front of your face, because I'm about to release a new single. It should be online any second now, and there will be an album to follow, and it's kind of a different sound from my first CD. I tell people that was kind of my sound then, and it's a good representation of who I was and what I was doing then. But I've kind of grown up a little bit, experienced a little heartache, and kind of found myself, and this CD really punctuates that perfectly. It's like everything I ever wanted to make in a CD, it's here. Bam.
Well, and of course, you've kind of fused two genres of music that really are all about storytelling. So the more stories you have to tell, I imagine, the more your music would grow. Yeah,
and I've done some living in my short life. I've clearly not as much as other people, but I got some things to write about, and I really respect all the great producers and writers and, all the influences that ever came before. And I kind of just like to put my spin on stuff. Like, if you listen to my first CD, and possibly this one too, you'll notice that kind of stylistically there's a different genre style of song on each one of those tracks. Is kind of different, but what I do kind of ties them together. But I've always kind of been fascinated by writing different styles of music and learning different styles of music and how to play it, and just that type of stuff. So,
well, I will tell you one thing: if you can make it up to this neck of the woods, that's the kind of stuff that people love around here. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. I got to tour. I've been a guitar player for a bunch of different people and gotten to tour the nation. And I've played up in, I believe I've actually played in Wyoming. I don't remember where, because it's been a long time ago.
It is a big state.
Yeah, and I think it was wintertime when we drove through, so it was kind of scary with all the snow and a bus. But
well, now I will say, if you're now, have you spent your entire life in Texas? That where you grew up?
Yeah, that's where I grew up.
Oh,
love my hot summers. Love my hot humid summers.
Well, I will. That first time you see that big snow, it's not a lot of fun. I do. I've seen that from other Texans up here before, so yeah. I know the reaction very well.
Well, it's actually funny. I welcome the different seasons, because there's something I appreciate about each one. When summertime gets here, I'm like, yes, I get to sweat, I get to lose weight, be outside, get my tan on, I'm going to do all this great stuff outside. And then there comes a point when I'm like, man, I wish it were cold for just a little while. And then in the deep winter, and, you're wishing for summertime again. But, it's funny about the snow, because with all this media coverage, the way it kind of started, I got married on February 27th, and that day in Texas, it rained. It snowed 4 inches of powder snow, which is unheard of for Texas, because normally we get ice, we get sleet, we get freezing rain, everything but powder snow. And one of my people in the wedding party, called Channel 8, and there was so much doom and gloom with people on the ice that they wanted a positive story, and somebody's getting married in the snow. Somebody's stupid enough to get married in the snow, so they sent a camera crew out. It was crazy, but that was kind of how the springboard happened for the follow-up with the Walmart thing.
Yeah, I mean, you've had quite a year when it comes to things like that. I mean, first being on the news for being probably one of only a handful of Texans to ever be married in the snow outdoors,
No.
to someone who gets 3 or 4 million YouTube hits for playing a Stevie Ray Vaughan song on a toy guitar at Walmart. And this is actually something I've wondered about. That did you get in trouble for doing that at all? I mean, did they? Because around here, if you touch anything, they'll kick you out.
No, like I said, the box was just open, and I know how to take care of stuff. Technically, I guess it's considered vandalism. But,
no.
We didn't get in trouble. It was 3 a.m. and all the workers were on the other side stocking. They had pallets in the middle of the aisle stocking everything on the other side of the store, which is why me and Zach weren't singing full voice, because we didn't want to draw attention. But if I'd have known this thing would have been seen so many times, I'd have sang better.
Well, I will say it's certainly a lot different than a lot of the viral videos you see these days. I mean, it's fun. I mean, that's the great thing about it. It's just good simple fun, and that's I imagine that's got to be a great thing for your career going forward. Can you imagine 20 years from now, you're a big, huge star, you're up there getting your CMA award, and you can say, well, it's all because I picked up a toy guitar at Walmart.
And if any of those things happen, I'll embrace it, because you gotta love your roots and where you came from. So if I have to sit there on stage, I don't know if you saw any of the pictures. I just became your Facebook friend, but the little guitar that they gave me on the news write-up on Channel 8 the other day, I went and had my guitar luthier put a guitar pickup and a volume pod and an input jack and everything, and I'm going to play them at live shows.
Well, okay, so again, if you're just joining us, we're talking with Clay Shelburn. If anybody's interested in seeing the video, how can they find it on YouTube?
They can just search my YouTube, just Google me or whatever, just search Clay Shelburn. My YouTube account is where the actual video is. I think it's users / either official Clay Shelburn or Clay Shelburn Music. I should know these kind of things for this sort of purpose.
I think if you just do a search for Clay Shelburn, it comes right up. I think Walmart Guitar.
Yeah,
Walmart
if you
Guitar.
Just search Walmart Rockstar, it'll come up.
Yeah, Walmart Rockstar. That's it. If anybody's interested in your album, where can they find that?
The first one's available on iTunes right now, and I think it's still on Spotify and Amazon and all those other things. So that's up on iTunes right now. I don't have any physical copies. When we get things rolling with this new one, I'll probably buy another run of the old ones just to have, because there's people that still want hard copies of that kind of stuff. So, but the new albums will be up on iTunes, and it's going to go on Google Play, because we've had a lot of people tell me about Google Play and the new Apple one they have that Taylor Swift fought for all the little small artists for. Yeah,
you might get a couple bucks out of that. Thanks, Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I put out a post that tagged her and said thanks, because that means a lot. I'm one of those artists that's about to put out a single, and 3 months worth of not paying you is a big chunk, especially when you got some media coverage like we have, or if you're on an artist label or whatever. That's a big chunk of change. And I love how honest she was. She was like, I don't need it. I got plenty of money. I can sustain myself on my live shows, but there are these people that are trying to break in, and you're not going to pay them, and that's really going to hit their pockets hard. And I just really appreciate the fact that she stood up and fought for people.
Yeah, it really that was a good. You don't see a whole lot of musicians being held up as good role models these days, but Taylor Swift, I know people give her criticism for changing musical styles and all that, but she seems like a sincerely good person.
I've seen the way she interacts with her fans, and with regard to, where she started and where she transitioned into, I still give her props, because up until she did cross over and say, no, I'm electronic pop or whatever, people did give her crap about it, because, in general, Nashville music sounds like pop anyway. But you know, I give her props for being like, no, I'm actual pop. This is what I want to do. It's not just country guitars with a beat on it, you know. I give her props for that.
Yeah.
And she's actually a really great writer because she can write catchy songs.
Well, there's always a place for that too. I mean, it really is. I mean, I have a 19-year-old daughter that just loves her. So, you know, I can say, I mean, you know, I could think of a lot worse role models for the young girls out there. So again, Clay Shelburn. Just look for Clay Shelburn on iTunes, on YouTube. Check the album out. It really is pretty cool. I actually have your ReverbNation.com website up, and it has a few songs on there. Or anything you want me to close out with? Because I'll play a full song for you.
You know, I don't know what kind of audience you have, or you know what they really like, but
what's
you know,
your favorite?
Little Angel's a good one. That means a lot to me. That's a song. That's why I was asking about the tone of your show, you know, because that's kind of a reach out and grab you by the heart if you're suffering from a loss kind of song. Or there's I Feel a Sin Coming On, which we also put on the new CD, that kind of just talks about human shenanigans.
Okay, we'll play that one.
It's just kind of whatever.
We'll play that one for you, okay?
Okay.
Hey, well, thank you so much, Clay. It's been a pleasure talking to you. And, of course, if you ever get up this way, you're more than welcome to stop by and play a few songs live.
Well, I would love to. And like I say, when we get some, you know, more exposure, people sharing and talking, and we'll definitely make the rounds. I promise.
Okay. Hey, thanks a lot. Again, Clay Shelburn on iTunes. We'll see you soon, okay?
You can ClayShelburn.com that and figure out everything you need to know.
ClayShelburn.com as well. Hey, thanks a lot.
Thank you, Don. Appreciate it.